different story. The Angels' bats pounced on A's pitching. The defense was not at its best, and in the end, it was a 14-1 victory for the Halos. Tonight, Sonny Gray will look to get back on his game as he faces the Angels for the first time in 2015. It's Game 3, A's-Angels, coming up next. It is another very comfortable night for baseball here in April. We are in Anaheim, and we are getting set for Game 3 of this 4-game series. The pitching matchup has Jared Weaver on the mound for the Angels. Sonny Gray will pitch for the Athletics. Each team has won a game so far in this series. Game 3 is coming up. It's the Oakland A's and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. You'll see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another night of Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fossey, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Sonny Gray makes his 4th start of the year, and Ray's pitching like an ace. Yeah. He's really been good in all 3 of the starts so far.
Even his last start, Glenn, whenever you're looking at what he did against the Kansas City Royals, he pitched okay, gave up a lot of ground balls, and after the game he said, I wouldn't change a thing. And you can look at his numbers so far this year, but he could have been a lot better with regard to the record. He's 1-0, but he's pitched against the Angels before. He's done great against the Western Division teams in the American League, and that's exactly what the A's want because they played them so many times. But it's a little bit different in who he's facing tonight. But Sonny Gray has a good fastball, good curveball. We know what he's capable of doing.
So he's pitching like an ace. Jared Weaver is not, Ray. His ERA is over 6. He has not looked good in his first 3 starts. Ball's right in the middle of the plate, and he's getting hit.
It's all about velocity, and he really does not have very much. It's in the low 80s, and you can see what the Royals did against him. You see some of these pitches, not surprised they're ending up in the seats. A hanging breaking ball. Kendrys Morales just waited for it, and it's just a matter of him having to hit the location. We talk about crafty left-handers. How about a crafty right-hander? And that's what he's going to try to do tonight. He's going to try to change the eye level, pitch down in the zone, up in the zone. He's made a lot of starts against the Athletics, different players, but he knows how to pitch at this level.
All right, so 2 more games left on this long road trip for the A's before we all head home. Why not head home with a couple of wins? Right. A's will try to do that starting tonight. Sonny Gray and Jared Weaver is your pitching matchup for Game 3 of this series. When we come back to the Big A, we will have lineups and first pitch. It's all coming up next.
is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. By Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places. And by DraftKings.com. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com with the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Enter promo code SLIDER for free entry.
Angels taking the field for Game 3 of this 4-game series here at the Big A in Anaheim. A's won on Monday night, Angels won last night, and there's one more to play after tonight. That'll be tomorrow late afternoon. Game time weather for tonight is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission is free. Visit online for park hours at beachboardwalk.com. Another comfortable evening. Cool off a little bit as the night goes on, but 63 degrees. So the A's wearing the traditional road grays tonight, with the Angels wearing the traditional home whites. Here's the lineup for the A's. Starts with Sam Fuld in center. Then Canna in left. Vogt will catch. Butler will DH. Davis at first. Reddick in right. Lowry's at third. Sogart's at second. And Simeon is your shortstop.
And Jared Weaver making start number 31 against the Athletics, as he has pitched and stayed in this uniform throughout his career and hopes to be there the remainder. 4 home runs allowed. I think we showed about 3 in our open. 0-2 record, inflated earned run average. Velocity is low. I think what the A's have to do tonight is be patient. Do not look for too much. And the thing that Darren Bush said, and it's very true, he'll raise the eyesight. I mean, he'll lower and raise, and the fastball up in the zone seems much quicker and faster when he does elevate it.
So Sam Fuld digs in, and we're set for baseball from Angels Stadium of Anaheim. We call it the Big A. First pitch of the ball game is high to Fuld. Fuld, Canna, and Vogt, first 3 hitters in the A's lineup. Early season numbers for Fuld, hitting right at 300, 4 RBIs. And he lines one to left, and that's a base hit. So second pitch of the game, and Fuld is aboard.
83 miles per hour, and that might have been his fastball.
Defensively for the Angels, it'll be Cowgill in left, Trout in center, Calhoun in right, Freese at third, Ibar at short, Giovitella at second, and Pujols at first. Iannetta is your catcher. So you mentioned the velocity, Ray, and there's been a lot of back and forth here with Weaver as far as his velocity this year. It's low. And how much should be made of the lack of velocity with Weaver?
A lot.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I understand the argument like, hey, velocity isn't everything, but he's down to 83, 84 miles an hour. And even last year, Ray, I think he had a terrific season last year. He was 86, 87, 88. Now you drop down 3 miles per hour, and it's early yet.
But it does change a lot, and we've seen Barry Zito with the time he was with the A's in 06 and then went across the Bay, and his velocity just constantly and just consistently started to drop. And one of the biggest things it does, and Jared Weaver, like any pitcher, is going to have change-ups and different types of pitches. The lower your fastball velocity is, you have to drop the velocity of your changeup. You can't have the differential be so much smaller, because hitters essentially can say, I'll sit fastball or sit for a changeup, get a fastball, I can still hit it because velocity is not there.
Breaking ball, and Canna went around.
See, that's what he's going to do. And I think in this lineup, and Canna, of course, being a rookie, then you've got some veterans in this lineup, but the patience is the key. He may, in the case of Canna, do what he just did. He's not going to pitch and throw fastballs counts. He's going to throw a lot of different types of pitches, and especially if somebody doesn't know it.
Pitch out. Well, last year, Weaver was 18-9 with a 3.59 ERA, and he threw 213 innings. So the velocity, last year, average fastball 85.7. But that's a fairly significant drop. And I think the 85 to 83 is what is, well, maybe has people concerned a little bit with the Angels. But like I said, last year he pitched at 85 and had a very, very good year. 3 starts into this season, it has not been so good.
Mike Butcher's a pitching coach, long-time pitching coach, and you can see the slow ride. That's a good Good call there.
There's that breaking ball.
He's not thrown a strike to him yet.
Nope, he hasn't. Lowest average fastball from 2014. So he was able to win with that.
And you know what's interesting? Ike Davis, who pitched the 8th inning last night for the Athletics, and 1, 2, 3 inning. But the one thing he said, my velocity was under the average, which means that he had success because guys look for more. Well, Jared Weaver tonight is under the average also, because
Gaylord Perry's theory, right?
That's exactly right. He said you never want to throw your fastball the same as the average. You always want to be above or below, not in the average in the middle.
2-2 to Canna. Fold run, swing and a miss, throw to second base is not in time. A strikeout and a stolen base for Sam Fold.
And another slider. And not surprising. So good jump by Sam Fold, going on the 2-2 pitch, head down all the way. And still think whenever you see in middle infield that pitch out of the strike zone, but look where Givatelli is catching the ball. If he straddles the bag, it's a much different story. And when you're, I know Mike Gallego, they're looking at it. I guess going to challenge it. Wow.
Yeah, they are. Mike Scioscia's coming out. Can't imagine what else they'd be.
Yeah, that's.
All right. And maybe the concern for the A's is that Sam Fold, you see that runner sometime come off the bag. And Givatelli was able to hold the tag. And that coming off the bag, even if it's for a split second, has really become a big part of the replays on tag plays.
Yeah, and he stayed with the tag. And even though he took the ball in front of the bag, by the time he went the feet first slide and then popped up, there's a lot of movement with the base runner hitting the bag.
Well, and we talked a lot about it last year, Ray. I think what replay and that popping off the bag with the slide, even for a moment, I think it's changed the way middle infielders have to go about their business. I think you got to hold the tag.
Well, he does, and he keeps going. And see right there, if he comes off the bag and he's tagging him, then that's it. So
he was off.
Yep.
See if Givatelli holds the tag.
Did he push him too? I mean, that's something that an infielder do. They'll push and keep pushing. And even though he's holding the tag, he also is pushing a base runner. We've seen all middle infielders and even third baseman do that.
So Fold did come off. The question is, was Givatelli, did he have that tag on the backside of Fold?
Meanwhile, Mark Canna, I hope, learned a lesson, because all the pitches, he got 5 pitches and not one was a strike. He kept swinging at the sliders, and you just have to be patient, because you can sit on the slider and you get the fastball, you can still hit it. Everything's okay until right there. Now, was he tagging him, or was the glove underneath him a little bit? Was he not tagging? Called him safe.
Really safe. So, and they have more shots than we do, obviously, more replays.
Scioscia just going berserk.
It didn't look like, to me, like you could tell for sure that his glove was touching Fold's backside. Fold definitely came off the bag.
Say he won last night, and he said that's a joke. Well, so under the guidelines, he lost his challenge, right? He's lost the challenge. Okay. And that's last night when he did it and he won. It was huge because his second baseman, same guy who made the tag at second, and kind of gave the indication that he had tagged him, and I think Scioscia went with that. So the A's catch a break there, maybe, because it was really kind of inconclusive as to whether he was off the bag, or, like you said, Kai, whether his tag was actually there or not. That's probably the biggest issue.
So Vogt steps in. Hot hitter, 349, 4 homers, 12 RBIs. See where he ranks in the American League in those categories. So great start for Stephen Vogt.
See how he's taking those curveballs? I mean, when we showed, and there's a great shot in our open, the guys had Kendrys Morales hitting the curveball. He actually started, put the front foot down,
and then stopped,
yeah. Still hit the home run. So that's what you can do as a hitter.
That one in for a strike, 83 miles an hour.
Got a home run, a double of his 3 hits. Right now, a base hit would be great to get the A's on the board in the first inning.
Good changeup there, 75 miles per hour, well placed, sinking down and away to Vogt. Vogt 1 for 5 last night. And he hits that one hard, but just foul.
June the 11th last year, Stephen Vogt, first home run of the season, came against this man, Jared Weaver, high fastball. And Weaver gave it up. Stephen Vogt. We believe in Stephen Vogt. And he got it then, and he didn't start the season with the A's. As Bob Melvin said, the biggest and hardest decision he ever had to make was telling Stephen Vogt he didn't make the club. But that's a time when the A's eventually had 4 catchers in the lineup at the same time.
2-2 pitch, a shot, base hit. Calhoun plays it on a hop, and they're going to hold up Sam Fuld as the ball tips off the glove of Pujols. So Calhoun, who has a very strong arm, and the ball got to him quickly.
Off-speed pitch, and Stephen Vogt, 2-strike hitting all over it. And Sam Fuld had to hold up, and because he did not know if the ball was going to reach him in the air, he being Calhoun, because remember, Sam has been robbed a few times by right fielders playing extremely shallow, and I think he looked out and saw Calhoun also was doing that.
So Butler with an early chance here, 1st and 3rd. Butler 375, couple of home runs, 6th best batting average in the American League so far. And the first pitch, a little cut fastball, high strike called 0-1. Mike Davis in the on-deck circle. Picked out of the dirt by Iannetta.
A backhanded pick on top of that, which is pretty good hands by Iannetta. Donovan Bees, 29, this being the 30th at bat. So that means both have been around quite a while, and especially not the same division under the new guidelines.
And that one hit high down the left field line. Towering shot, but foul. Impressive foul ball.
See how long Billy Butler waited and still was quick. Angels playing back for double play. They know if they can get Billy Butler to hit the ball on the ground, they have a chance to turn 2. Billy Butler trying to at least get it in the air deep enough, or even better than that, over the fence or for a hit himself.
That slider down and away.
Okay, one of the things that Jared Weaver, he's smart enough to know if he can get hitters to chase pitches out of the strike zone, that's going to benefit him the most, and that's what happened with Mark Canha. Sure, Darren Bush and the veterans on the bench talking to Mark Canha about being patient and trusting your hands and your strength, not to try to go after the ball, let it come to you.
Two pitch, cutter down and away.
Like it's supposed to be a front door cut fastball with Iannetta moving inside, and see where he's set up and where the pitch is. It's a good take by Billy Butler.
So full count.
It's a good time to send Stephen Vogt maybe to try to stay out of double play if the ball is hit on the ground. We'll see if Bob Melvin opts to do that.
Vogt runs, and Butler fouls it right side.
One of the best ways to try to avoid a double play, and that's to start the base runner. The A's have seen that a couple of times already this year, where They're playing back, but the count of 3-2, and the base runner is on the move. Usually has to be a hard hit ball for it to be a double play with the runner at first on the move. Confidence the hitter to make contact.
Quick throw. Vogt gets back. So Vogt was on the move. See if he goes again. He does not run this time, and it's tapped slowly to third. Freeze charges. He's going to go to first to get the out there. Fold comes in to score, and the A's grab an early 1-0 lead.
That is great base running by Sam Fold, going on contact. And a lot of times you'll see a base runner that slowly hit ball will not run because it's going to be tough to turn a double play. But Sam Fold on contact, all Freeze could do on this curveball was throw to first and get Billy Butler. If Sam Fold is not breaking as soon as the ball was hit, it's not going to be a double play, but he's also going to be out at the plate because that's the direction Freeze would have gone. Instead, the only play he had was go to first and made a good play out of that anyway.
So now Vogt is at second for Ike Davis. Ike Davis cues one down the third base line. Freeze dives for it, is able to keep it in the infield, and that saved a run, but it's a hit, just a cue shot, and it rolled right down the third base line.
That's a great description. Give me some chalk for the cue stick.
It was a serious cue shot.
Freeze made a great play because this ball gets past him. The A's have another run. So Freeze just kind of smothered the ball. Vogt, all they can do is stay at first or at third. Well, you go from pitching a 1-2-3 8th inning to cueing the ball off the end of the bat. You're first at bat the next night.
So Reddick steps in, a chance for more for the A's. First pitch, high strike called, 83 miles an hour. 258 for Josh, a homer and 5 RBIs. Blocked nicely by Iannetta. So 23 pitches in the first inning for Jared Weaver. He's got a run and 3 hits so far. That one stays high, and the count is 2-1.
So about 68, 69 miles an hour.
68.
Wow.
And reached for, hit in the air to shallow left. Cowgill grabs it, side retired. A run on 3 hits for the Athletics, so it's 1-0 A's after a half an inning. Gray goes to work against this lineup for the Angels. Calhoun, Trout, Pujols, Freese, Ibar, Joyce, Cowgill, Iannetta, Giovitella.
Sonny Gray has not made as many starts against the Angels as Jared Weaver has against his ball club, but this young man is going to make a lot of starts in major leagues, and he is, at least the A's are very fortunate to have him in the green and gold. Fourth start for Sonny Gray, and with a little bit more run support, he could have that 3-0 record instead of 1-0, but pitches very well. And every day we know his pitching day, his game face is on.
Yep.
Don't even say hello to Sonny Gray because he is ready to pitch. I think the preparation mentally for him starts the day or after the previous night's game.
First pitch, Sonny Gray to Calhoun is low. Sonny won on opening night and then got a no decision against Seattle, and then the no decision at Kansas City on Friday. He allowed a career-high 11 hits in that start, but when he left after 6 innings, the game was tied. So he did his thing, even though he maybe wasn't quite as sharp as usual, but he kind of grinded through that game, and A's had a chance to win it when he left. 1-1 to Calhoun, who had the big night last night. Calhoun was 4 for 5. 3-run homer, and he scored 3 runs. So he was 0 for 5 Monday, 4 for 5 last night. Cole Calhoun, overall hitting .293. His home run last night came off a left-hander, Fernando Abad. Jumped on it.
Yeah, hanging curveball. I asked Bob Melvin about his curveball. Remember, he's developed the cut fastball. And sometimes when a pitcher has a new type of a pitch, slider or cutter, maybe it affects the curveball. In that case last night, and Bob Melvin doesn't think, or he's just concerned because he did not want to see a lefty have the success that Calhoun did, because he does not want that to get in the back of Abad's mind.
That one got a piece of Stephen Vogt.
Straight back, the foul ball got him on the right, that right toe. My goodness, that's a surgically repaired right foot, and he said that it always seems to find that area. He has the shin guard that extends over the foot. Yeah, put it over there, Steve. Still say catchers should wear steel-toed shoes. Forget about the running. Just protect the toes.
1-2 pitch, and Calhoun tries to hold up, and he can't. So Marty Foster says you went around, and Sonny Gray gets a strikeout.
Oh, very aggressive Calhoun, as he's shown in the at-bat, and this one he just starts, and well, you can see even that shot, and if you get a side shot, you'll see how the bat head crossed the plate, and it does that, and that's what the umpires will look at, just to see what the bat head is doing in relationship to the home plate. And watch the bat head right there. See that? He brings it back kind of in a loop, but that is a swing as far as the check swing is concerned.
Here's Trout. He takes low. There's your umpires. Mike Malinsky is the home plate umpire. Winners, Wegner, and Foster. Foul. A's come in with a 7-8 record. The Angels are 6-8.
If you look at this matchup right now, Mike Trout and Sonny Gray, that's got a chance to be a matchup for quite a few years. 2 young players. Sonny Gray 25, Mike Trout 23, and same division. It's almost like King Felix Hernandez. Facing the Mariners 19 times, you're going to see him 5, maybe even 6 times.
Fouled again. Trout is 4 for 14 with a couple of home runs in his career. Also 6 strikeouts against Sonny Gray. Figure alone last year, Gray made 4 starts against the Angels. I mean, that's probably 11, 12, 13 at bats right there in Sonny Gray.
Got him on August the 22nd last year at home. Curveball. Tries a little bit late on the fastball, almost like he's looking curveball from Sonny. He's yet to throw him one. Fastball in.
So this is the home run Ray's talking about.
And watch the curve and watch it go. Got him at the bottom part of the strike zone. Yeah, Sonny, that's a great pitch. I don't blame you for reacting that way, because
pretty good.
It was a great curveball and a biting 12-6 curveball, but tried it so strong, got under it and drove it instead of hanging on top of it.
Good breaking ball there, and Trout strikes out. A couple of strikeouts to start the game for Sonny Gray.
Fastball and miss, looked like he slipped and came back with this, and that's a very good, really almost like a curveball. It is a curveball right over the top. You can see the rotation. So for him to start it outside that way, go straight down, almost like a splitter, but 12-6 curveball. I'd say he's a 2-pitch pitcher, but that slider, change up a little bit, the cutter, just a great assortment for this young man.
Close pitch there, call the ball.
Look at 84% of fastballs and curveballs, and then the cutter is also just enough to put in the back of the mind. The slider a little bit bigger break.
Pop up on the infield, actually into short right field, where Sogard is there. He's got it side retired. Good inning for Sonny Gray. We're on to the second. The A's with an early 1-0 lead. By McDonald's, May 2nd of 2012. Jared Weaver pitches a no-hitter against the Twins. He did it right here at Angel Stadium. He allowed just a couple of base runners. And then was a pass ball after a strikeout, and then a walk in the 7th. And this is your final out.
Watch the look on that. That's a great look, Jared Weaver. I did it. I did it.
He was a 20-game winner that year, and he's got a no-hitter on his resume.
A homegrown product, too. And he says the great thing about playing for the Angels, his parents are here watching every game he pitches because he lives in the area. And I think I heard Victor or Gooby next door yelling, saying, "Mr. Weaver, Mr. Weaver." So he must be down there someplace that he was yelling at him, trying to get his attention. But
born in Northridge, went to Newport, or lives in Newport Beach. There
they are.
The Weavers.
The Dream Weavers, as they call them.
Went to Long Beach State. Signed a long-term deal, and the Angels have him signed through next year. Yeah. So this year, next year. He's 32 years old, and he's been a terrific pitcher for a long time. Good breaking ball, 2-2. His career record is 131-71. That's pretty darn good. He never had a losing season in the big leagues. 2-2 pitch to Laurie. Fastball's popped up right center. Trout hustling in. And it's that time of day where the ball could be, for a little bit anyways, off the bat. Tough to see. It's not quite dark yet. So that's one out. No hitters in Angels history. Nolan Ryan has 4. Bo Belinsky, 1962. Clyde Wright. Ray, you remember Clyde Wright.
Yeah.
Mike Witt. Santana in 2011. Weaver in 2012.
Mike Witt's perfect game. I think that was the final day of the regular season, which they said is always the day that you'll pitch no hitters in perfect games. That is on the last day when everybody wants to go home, especially if you're not going to go to postseason. I mean, that's impressive. You see Nolan Ryan, we saw it in Houston. You'll see it in Arlington, Texas. Retired 3 places. Of course, Rod Carew retired also in Minnesota. Great Twins player. I believe Rod Carew is the only player to win a batting championship without hitting a home run.
Huh.
He was that good. He could have hit probably 25, 30. Yeah. Exactly. But a great, great hitter. Hit the ball, the old saying, hit it where it's pitched. Yeah, Clyde
Belinsky.
Oh, yeah.
Clyde Wright.
Well, Clyde Wright works for the Angels. He does PR. As a matter of fact, he was in the press room and on his way to a meet and greet. And he has stayed with the Angels for many, many years.
In the hole, Ibar's going to show up that strong arm. In the dirt, Pujols digs it out. Pujols picks it clean.
Now, if you go watch the baseball as we did, as we're going to Ibar, looks like it changes direction. Looks like it's going to the hole, and then right there came right back to him. The backhand, and I guess he wanted to test Albert Pujols, but had the backhand. He's got the strong arm, but had the ball bounce far enough out in front of Pujols. But I think it changed direction, kind of went back to him. Did not have to go as far in the hole as maybe he thought.
So 2 away. Here's Marcus Semien hitting .236 with a couple of home runs. Got a couple Gold Gloves, does Albert Pujols, back in his St. Louis days. There's that big curve, drops in there for a strike. Semien is 1 for 7 in this series, and of course that was a home run. Ibar juggles, and he's not going to be able to get a throw off. Semien runs too well. It was going to be a close play, even if he did get a throw off. So it should be a hit for Semien.
That's the old play right there, and it's a smart play when an infielder doesn't throw the ball, takes a chance of making an errant throw and putting a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Instead, he concedes the base hit. Marcus Semien showing off that great speed, hustling down the line. That's a big hit for him, just to kind of get him going, keep him going, especially against the veteran pitcher. Weaver, we know, can make guys look silly. So that's good for Marcus to get on base, and Sanford can find a gapper, show off Semien's speed even more.
Fold single, stolen base, run scored in that first inning. Got things going with a line drive to right field. Semien goes, throw to second base, not in time. Another stolen base for the A's.
Good take by Sam Falk, giving him a chance to steal. And another great jump. This kid can fly. Look at his speed. And that's a feet first slide. No chance of him popping off the bag on this one with Ibar out in front, keeping the tag on him, but he had to take the short hop.
The A's now with 9 stolen bases as a team. That one rolled right side. Pujols has to hustle back, get the throw from Giovitella. He does. Side retired. Runner stranded. Bottom of the second coming up. It'll be Freeze, Ibar, and Joyce. A's lead 1-0. Help you save energy, money, and the environment. Visit pg&e.com. PG&E, together building a better California. David Freese to lead it off. And the first pitch is a fastball inside corner called strike. If you've never been to Angel Stadium of Anaheim, out in front of the main entrance, there's two giant Angel caps. And I mean giant. So it'd be an easy meeting place. You say, let's meet at the caps, meet at the hats.
And it's the biggest joke. There are some players who said that's a perfect hat size for you. And those are monsters.
Yeah, it's not funny.
No. You got a big head, big hat, but those are big hats.
Those are big hats, yeah. Two of them right out in front of the main entrance.
But you're right about, because you can just say, look for the caps. Look for the Angels.
Right. Cannot miss them. The caps and the big A out in the parking lot are very distinctive.
Which the old stadium, it used to be a little bit more noticeable, like just beyond the outfield. That's the big hit,
big
hat.
There. There's two of them out there. Reach for and foul over to our right.
It's amazing. I looked at those caps like that. That means Birdie, hurry. And when I took those photographs of that movie, video of that, just like Stephen Vogt, when Sam Fold made the great catch in center field, the LA Times with him stretched out had Stephen Vogt makes a diving catch. Yeah. It's amazing how quickly he got rid of the gear, ran out to center, made the catch, and came back behind the plate.
Unbelievable. To the gap, and that's going to be trouble. It's going to one-hop the wall. Reddick grabs it, gets it in quickly. Freese hustling for second, head first slide, and he's in there.
I'd say a pretty good idea to try to pitch Freese inside, because he likes to go to the opposite field, especially with a fastball away. Hit a couple of hits that direction last night. He got jammed with a base hit on Monday night with a 2-run single in the first inning, and this is a solid double and a fastball away. And Josh Reddick showing off the strong arm, but Freese hustling.
You know what, Ray? That's David Freese when he's at his best. He's not a huge power hitter.
Right.
He's really more of a gap guy, a doubles guy. Most home runs he's hit is 20, and that was just one time. Even last year, just 10 home runs in 134 games, but he will find the gaps. So Ibar will try to get him over. And now it's 1-1. Laurie, the third baseman, is right on the edge of the grass. Ibar, a terrific bunter. That's always has to be in the back of your mind when Ibar steps up, no matter what the situation may be. He is a great bunter.
He can push it to third or drag it towards first, and either way try to advance the runner.
Doesn't need to, as the A's are going to help him out. It bounces over that fence and into one of those luxury suites down at the field level. Wow. So Freese to third, and nobody out.
Well, they did it earlier, kind of buried one. That was against Trout before he struck him out, but this time way out in front of Stephen Bolden. If he touched any part of his body, it was his left wrist.
So 2-1 the count. Matt Joyce is the on-deck hitter. That one hit toward Ike Davis. He's got it. He thought about coming home. Freese got a good jump. Freese comes in to score. So this game is tied. It was a hard hit ball. And Davis, right when he fielded it, I think he thought about it briefly.
He would do that later in the game, but I don't know that this is a good time to attempt it, because it would have been a close play. And with Freese going on contact, he's playing back. Davis was. The only thing that might have at least got him to think about it, but even looking at that shot, which is a great shot, I don't think he'd have been out. And that would have been opening up a possible big inning. Instead, you get the sure out, make it a new game.
So Ibar gets his fourth RBI. Joyce rolls one foul, headed down the right field line.
Ike Davis is the present day Babe Ruth, you know, pitcher, position player.
Yeah, the stuff was good last night.
Bambino, a pitcher before he became an all-time great home run hitter.
Fouled right up over top of the 8th dugout. Shoots quickly into the seats.
Or as a young man in Sandlot said, Baby Ruth. What's up, Baby Ruth?
He learned quickly, though, did
Great Bambino.
Smalls.
The great Bambino, Sultan of SWAT.
Never seen Sandlot? You have to watch Sandlot. 10 minutes ago, he didn't have anything. Now that young man has cotton candy and a baseball.
A bunch of envious people around him, too. They're all going to take a look at it.
Joyce swings and misses, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Sonny Gray.
Our own John Reynolds got a baseball last night. Almost took his head with it, but JR was a gamer last night. Took the headset off, but got the baseball. Did you take it home?
So here's Colin Cowgill. Cowgill getting a start against a right-handed pitcher. That does not happen a lot. Cowgill 194. He's got a home run. And Gray with good sinking action, and the velocity's good too, 94. Curve is low. Angels will host the Rangers coming up this weekend. The Rangers will be in town later tonight. Well, the right, but Reddick's there. He's got a beat on it. Grabs it side retired. A run for the Angels, so we're moving to the 3rd. It's 1-1.
With the MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet.
1-1 game. It's the top of the 3rd. Weaver and Gray. Weaver will face Canna, Vogt, and Butler. So we'll see if Mark Canna can wait back, be a little more patient this at bat. He struck out, chased the pitch out of the strike zone. First at bat.
That hanging curveball he just got was a good pitch to hit, but couldn't pull the trigger.
Drives this one towards center, but Trout's there, back a couple steps. So one out here in the top of the third.
I mentioned that Jared Weaver wanted to stay here, and when he signed this 5-year contract, it has 2 years this year, next year remaining. Remember what had happened, that his agent didn't like the numbers, and Tony Reagans, the general manager at the time, had made it a point that he would send a copy of the contract to the player in addition to the agent. And Jared Weaver looked at it and he said, "What's wrong with this?" And he said, "It's fine with me," and he signed it, and evidently someone was not very happy with him, but that's pretty smart on Tony Reagans' part to make sure that you can negotiate with certain people, but the actual person on the mound, in this case Jared Weaver, needs to see exactly what the whole idea was about.
Oh, I bet that person that wasn't very happy took his 3% though, didn't he?
Oh, of course. Yes, of course. Tony Reagans, I think, is doing something with MLB. He's no longer the GM here now. Jerry DiPoto is, but Tony has stayed in baseball with MLB.
How about Houston Street? Houston Street is a free agent at the end of the year. There's Jerry DiPoto. And Houston Street is negotiating an extension, and he is not using an agent. Although I think he is now that they've gotten a little maybe closer to a deal. But originally, Houston was like, hey.
Well, the current contract, he has 1 year remaining. The 3-year deal that he's under right now, he negotiated that himself. And if you want to make a general manager or an owner happy, you walk in and yourself, you negotiate the contract. I think that's something that's so rare. But when it does happen, it always seems like great things that help.
There's Mr. Moreno, the owner of the Angels.
He has never had a season owning this club that he's drawn less than 3 million people. That says a lot about what he did to change the culture of Angels baseball and what he wanted to make sure fans could afford. An owner takes over and starts lowering prices. That really helps the fans, and it definitely did it here in Anaheim.
12 straight years, over 3 million people a year in this ballpark. 3-2 pitch to Vogt. Fastball right in on the hands.
If there's a sad thing about the ownerships that have been here, is that the late Gene Autry was not part of the championship. The only championship they've had in 2002, of course, Arte Moreno, neither Mr. Autry or Arte Moreno. There is the 26th man, Gene Autry, and of course the late Jim Fregosi. What a great person he was, a scout, and we'd always see him down in St. Petersburg with the Rays, and played for the Angels many years.
And Vogt swings and misses. So 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. Hey, remember, tune in tomorrow. The Warriors and the Pelicans. Game 3 coverage begins with Warriors pregame live at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. And then Fitz, JV, and Roz will be there so you can watch the game with the team that knows them best. It's also available to stream live on csnbayarea.com and NBC Live Extra. That's Game 3 tomorrow from New Orleans. But we were talking about 2002 when the Angels won it all, and Disney was the owner at the time.
Hence the rock pile in center field.
Hence the rock pile in center field and the World Series parade at Disneyland.
That's right.
Butler drives one toward right. Calhoun grabs it. That's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Jared Weaver. Gene Autry does have a statue here outside the ballpark. And there it is. Anaheim. Iannetta, Giovitella, and Calhoun here against Sonny Gray. Sonny's allowed just one hit. He's got 3 strikeouts in the early going. Iannetta hits one right back up the middle. Sogard backhands, takes his time, and gets Iannetta. So 1 away here in the 3rd. Hey, if you're looking for the best coverage of Oakland A's baseball, log on to csncalifornia.com as insider Joe Stiglitz provides wire-to-wire reporting of the A's 2015 season with breaking news, video, special features, and more only on csncalifornia.com. Joe Stiglitz. He's here.
Oh, he's everywhere, isn't he?
He's here.
I think he was on a pregame live, too, tonight.
Oh, yeah, kicking out the stories. Gray's first pitch, a touch low to Giovitella. Big night last night for the second baseman.
Made him Babe Ruth.
4 RBIs last night, including a 3-run homer. And he lines one to center, and that'll fall for a hit. So Giovitella, after the big night last night, singles in his first at bat.
Now think about guy hitting the 9th spot, and you have a tendency to say, well, let's just throw him fastballs. That's what happened last night. We need a 3-run home run. Alvarez threw him a fastball for a base hit, and tonight Sonny Gray falls behind 1-0, comes back with a heater and hit it hard to center.
Bring up Calhoun, who struck out swinging in the first inning. Calhoun now 4 for 11 in the series. Rolls that one foul. Overall 286 the average for Calhoun. Close pitch, a bit outside. Calhoun kind of won a regular job last year and ended up hitting .272 with 17 home runs. Played in 127 games. And we saw him a little bit during the 2013 season, and you could see some talent. And he kind of put it all together last year, and the Angels like him in that leadoff spot. He's got pop. And he's got speed, and he plays a good outfield.
Yeah, and they parted ways with J.B. Shuck, and of course he's a fixture in right field. Trout in center, and they're platooning Joyce and Cowgill in left field.
Arizona State product.
Of course, when he was playing last year, it was Josh Hamilton in left field.
Yep.
Trout in center, Calhoun in right.
The Hamilton situation very much up in the air here with the Angels. Will he come back? When will he come back? And now 2-1 to Calhoun.
Yes, it looks.
Even Mike Scioscia said, you know, you look at this year to last year. I mean, Hamilton's not in the lineup. Kendrick's not in the lineup.
Sorry.
Kendrick's been traded. He said, we obviously knew Kendrick was going to be gone because we traded him, but we thought we'd have Hamilton.
Right.
But then the shoulder surgery and all the other issues that came up with Hamilton. And so now there's a question mark of when and how much will Hamilton play? When will he come back and play? So it's been a tough off season for Josh Hamilton. We wish him the best. He's on the 15-day disabled list, that right shoulder surgery.
Just has not put it together with the Angels like he did with the Rangers when he won the MVP and had some great years with the Angels and signed a 5-year contract with the Angels. Those are the 2 years that we just put up there.
Hit hard but foul, and of course the the money involved is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, $83 million is what the Angels still owe Josh Hamilton. His contract goes through 2017, so they owe him money for this year, 2016 and 2017. So 3-2. Gio digs in at first, see if he takes off.
Well, we have seen Mike Scioscia's Angels, almost the running Angels. So I'd be surprised if he did not run. There's a big hole between first and second, and Scioscia always wants to see his runner go first to third, take the extra base when necessary or when they can, and try to stay on a double play. Gray is very quick to first.
And the 3-2 pitch with the runner going is outside, and now there's 2 on and 1 out, and the big fellas are coming up.
That might have been too quick to home plate, that he was worried, and knowing Gio was going to be running, and just quick pitched and overthrew the ball a little bit.
So Trout steps in. He struck out in the first. Trout in this series is 2 for 8. And the first pitch is on the inside corner. Good pitch by Sonny Gray.
Stayed away in the first at bat. First pitch inside in this at bat.
So Gio and Calhoun, your runners, with Pujols waiting in the on-deck circle. Curve for a strike. Hung a little bit, but his curveball breaks so sharp. Very tough to pull the trigger, even if it is a little bit of a hanger.
And the velocity too. That really helps. And he struck him out on a curveball outside part of the plate, maybe even off the plate in his first at bat.
Pitch away. So a little teaser pitch on 0-2.
Make a quality pitch on the inside part of the plate for a strike. As a hitter, you think, is he going to come back in? Do I cheat? Do I think about it? Or think about the outside part of the plate, which struck him out the first time.
He went inside, spins Trout out of the way a little bit to even the count at 2-2.
Hitters start to think, okay, he goes fastball in, he's going to go breaking pitch away or something outside. That's when you see a catcher call the same pitch inside. Thinking he's going to be leaning a little bit. As he has either way to go, curveball outside or the fastball in.
And he went with a fastball. Trout held up, and now it's a full count.
David Vogt has already given the sign to the infielders. That was before the at-bat began. And that's with the runner first. Very good speed both ways, so you figure they're going to be on the move.
And Trout asked for time as Sonny Gray held in that stretch.
You know, just thinking they might not be running because Trout has tremendous speed, tough man to double up, and plus, if you strike him out, throw him out, that takes the bat out of the hand of Pujols, who's in the on-deck circle. So this is a little bit of a game inside the game.
Runner's not going, and Trout lays off, and the bases are loaded with 1 out. That's pretty good at bat by Trout. Sonny Gray's stuff was pretty crisp and around the plate with 2 strikes, but Trout just was able to lay off.
Well, he's so strong that he started to swing on the 3-2 curveball, but held up, threw his bat, headed to first. And Bob Melvin gave the sign, 2 fingers, stay back for double play. Hope to get Albert Pujols to hit the ball on the ground. And not so hard that Takes an infielder into the outfield. Jammed him in his first at bat and was a 1-2-3 first inning.
So a key moment early in this game. First pitch to Pujols, line down the left field line, but it's hooking foul. Pujols got a fastball early in the count and had a good swing at it.
Tried to go in, did not get it in. Look at the location. That's middle of the plate, and fortunately Albert is so strong he pulled it foul. It's a mislocation, and how many times we see when a pitcher tries to pitch inside and misses, ends up overthrowing it, ends up in the middle of the plate.
Pujols takes that fastball low. So right at the 50 pitch mark is Sonny Gray. No place to put Pujols. Tip. And now Gray's ahead in the count 1-2.
That's a great curveball. He's fully great hitter. With that kind of a curveball, that's a great one. Pujols way out in front. He opened up and maybe thinking he's going to get another fastball in. This time he had a little bit of a stride. And now with 2 strikes, he'll go more to just turn it on the front foot, not really taking a stride like he just did.
Vogt blocks it. So 2-2, and you've talked many times, Ray, about the 2-2 pitch.
Yep, it's critical.
And how it affects the 3-2 pitch if it gets that far.
And that ball actually hit the kneecap. Stephen Vogt kept it close, and usually to hit the shin guards, it flies far enough for the runners to advance. Talking about some speed on the base paths. But yeah, this is a critical, because usually what you throw 2-2 affects the 3-2 count if it gets there.
And he swung at a pitch in the dirt. So a huge strikeout for Sonny Gray. Pujols chased for the second out.
Boy, just as big the block by Stephen Vogt. That was a nasty curve in the dirt, and Stephen Vogt did a great job. Look at this block with a curveball. Hit just to the left of home plate. Stephen blocked it. And that is a great saver right there. Okay, the two guys, the two catchers, Fegley and Vogt, doing a great job blocking balls, but Marcus Jensen puts them to work and make sure that they continue to work on it, even if they're catching. They're working on doing that, so just hope it can continue.
Fastball inside. Freese doubled and scored in the second inning, hit a line drive to the gap in right center.
Marcus Jensen, the A's assistant hitting coach and catching coach, and he puts them to work, and they're very receptive to the work, and it definitely pays off. Has so far tonight.
Popped up, and Gray's going to get out of it. Made a good pitch. Got in a little bit on Freese. Side retired, so the bases were loaded, 1 out, and the Angels do not score. The Hill, first time in his career, pitched a 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th inning, 3 ground ball outs through just 9 pitches. Last position player to pitch for the Athletics was Frank Menachino back in July of 2000. And we figured it out that Ike Davis actually pitched a fair amount in college, and he was pretty good, and you could tell that he had been on a mound before.
I asked him if he talked to his dad. Of course, Ron Davis, a great reliever for the Yankees, and he said, yeah, he let me know that I'm going to be sore today. He said, what happened to your velocity? You lost a lot of velocity in your fastball. But it was quite an outing last night, and I think, as you said, Kipe, it was very appropriate. In an ugly game like that, you have a little bit of fun. And that's fun right there.
Yeah.
Hit the hang and break it.
Why not? Base hit. Davis, after the pitching performance, gets his second hit tonight.
But he was talking. He said he threw a 4-seam fastball, and there they are. Frank Menachino, 2000, and of course Kevin Seitzer. There's some names.
So if you had 2 guys, 2 position players in the same year, does that mean it was a bad year? Gary Hancock and Mark Wagner, not the umpire Mark Wagner, Mark Wagner.
84 was a bad year. You're right. It was a bad year.
I'm just guessing. I don't know what the A's record was that year.
It was not good.
I know there was 2 blowout games, right? If you got a position player out there.
Yeah. Of course, that was after the Billy Ball era.
Yeah, right after.
Yeah, and right before the great run in the late 80s.
Reddick up the middle. Giavitelli dives. It tipped off his glove. It slowed it down a little bit, and I think that's going to help Davis be able to go to third. Giavitelli with a dive, and it looked like he did get a glove on it. Either way,
yes,
it's
he
first
did.
and third.
Great call, because otherwise, Ike Davis with Trout so fast coming in from center field, you can see Giavitelli planning to pull, and just passed him to the right, slowed it down enough. You can see Trout coming into your screen very quickly, and more than likely Ike Davis, who as a pitcher does not run especially fast, probably would have stopped at second. How many times you see it though? You get a deflection off a glove and extra base
no question.
occurs. So Reddick, who thought about bunting with the shift, decided to swing, and ball ends up eluding Giavitelli anyway.
So now the A's have a great opportunity. First and third, nobody out.
There's the deflection right there, just enough to slow it down. He probably, maybe could have flipped the ball to his shortstop Ibar covering to get a force out, but the ball getting past him, that enabled the A's to have a first and third, nobody out.
Slider for a strike, 1-1 to Laurie. So the Angels had the bases loaded and 1 out. In the bottom of the third, could not score. A's come back in the top of the fourth, and they got first and third, nobody out. Big curve and a swing and a miss, and it looked like he even took a little bit off that one. 69 miles per hour.
If you've ever played slow pitch softball, this is kind of the same concept with the slow curves thrown by Jerry Weaver. A long stride, and the bat went with Brett Laurie. So if you could take the stride but keep the bat back, you've got a chance to maybe do some damage.
So what do you think? Another big slow curveball?
But it's going to be something off speed. The scouting reports with Brett Laurie, as many breaking pitches as he has seen. If it's a fastball, it probably is going to be a waste pitch.
The fastball up and in at 86 miles an hour.
That's the changing the eye level. Go up, then go down, and it's amazing how much that can affect a hitter. And especially with the fastball up, seems to be much quicker, much harder when it's thrown in the upper part of the zone.
High fastball again. This one hit down the right field line and foul. A quiet crowd tonight. High fastball is popped up just below us. Too much foul ball activity last night up around our booth. We had one come whistling in here, put a dent in the wall. We had one right next to us, broke Mark Gubaza, the color commentator for the Angels, broke his monitor. And that's about 2 feet from me and 4 feet from you.
And 2 feet too close.
So we would like a night off from foul balls whistling up here.
Well, the way John Reynolds over here, or JR, is on his iPad, if he gets a foul ball, he's not going to be able to get out of the way.
And we're not going to be able to save him. You got to watch up here.
He's looking for statistics.
Another 2-2. Here it is. In the dirt, and Laurie swings and misses.
So fastball up, slider in the dirt.
So the changing of the eyesight thing, Ray.
Yeah, right there.
Go up, and then down. That really can screw up a hitter.
Absolutely. Because you think, and all of a sudden you go up and then down.
And it's too late then, right?
It's too late, and especially, and you know with his reputation that he's going to waste the fastball up. He's going to tease you with it. But ultimately, if he's going to get you out and a strikeout, which you just got, it's going to be something bad in the dirt. And now his defense playing back as they were for a double play with nobody out. They'll do the same with one out. And Reddick was running 2 pitches ago. He may try to run again just to try to break up the possibility of a double play.
Sogard takes high. Sogard hit a ground ball to the shortstop in the second inning.
Think about the changing the eyesight. If you don't throw especially hard, if you're throwing 95, it doesn't matter. But if you're throwing 83, 85, and it's up, it always seems much faster, much harder. And good pitchers can do it, and Weaver is in that category.
Bounce toward Pujols. He's going to come home, and now they're going to have Davis in a rundown. And Davis is tagged out. So Pujols decided to try to cut the runoff at the plate, and it worked. So a big out for Weaver. Goes 3-2-5.
Well, Ike Davis is looking and surprised maybe to see both runners still at first and second, because he's trying to get a run down, and the whole purpose there, he thought there was going to be a double play, and so you break. You try to draw the throw instead of Pujols, in this case, trying to turn a double play. And he ends up getting him. He tries to get in a run down so the guys can advance. And those fake throws by Iannetta is something that you don't want to see, but it worked out because there was no advancing of the other two runners.
So now 2 outs. Here's Simeon. Curve snaps in there for a strike. So Reddick is now the runner at second with Sogard at first. Simeon had an infield single and a stolen base in the second inning. I don't know if Mike Davis stayed in that rundown quite long enough for those runners to advance. I know he was a little frustrated. But
well, and you're right, and because the Angels actually did a pretty good job.
they did.
Yeah.
One more throw,
Yeah.
and then maybe the guy could get to third. Left field, hooked toward Cowgill, but he's got it. So the A's have a great opportunity, and they cannot score. So a couple stranded, and we're going to the bottom of the fourth. It's a 1-1 game. So each team with a great scoring opportunity in their last at bat, but nobody could get anything home. So Sonny Gray has 3 strikeouts. I think that 4 strikeouts. A couple of walks. He's allowed a couple of hits. Ibar had an RBI ground out in the second inning.
Sonny Gray with that first curveball, maybe coming out for this 4th inning saying, or thinking, I could be a lot of run support tonight.
Yeah, maybe not.
You know, 1st and 3rd, nobody out, don't get a run, get out of a bases loaded, 1-out jam. So, pretty good idea to try to put up a 0. And he's very good and capable of doing that, and better than his final start of the regular season. Cannot overlook the fact that a kid pitched as well as he did game 162 last year.
Gray grabs it, and so he gets Ibar for the first out, and that gets us to our T-Mobile game changer. Last night after a double play by the A's, Mike Scioscia challenged the 3rd out right there at first base, and it was overturned. Called out originally. Umpire said no, he was safe. And after a single by Iannetta, then Johnny Giovitello homered to left, and that made the score 3-0. So a big challenge that was call that was overturned, and it extended the inning.
Still like to know how they determined definitively that he was safe, because that shot that we just showed, I mean, and so many times we've heard that whatever the call on the field, it stands, and that was an out call. But it's like Scioscia was very upset in the 1st inning tonight when there was a play at second. He thought should have been out, was not.
Nice big hop to Sogard, and that's the 2nd out. So 4 in a row retired by Sonny Gray. Mariners are leading the Astros 3-0, top of the 5th in Seattle. Of course, the Astros have won 4 in a row, and they are going for the sweep, but they are losing right now. Again, 3-0 in the 5th. Hernandez for Houston, Happ for the Mariners. And the Astros will finish that game tonight, and they will head to the Bay Area. So they have an off day in the Bay Area tomorrow, the Houston Astros, and then they'll play the A's on Friday night at the Coliseum. So nice off day in Northern California for the Astros. Worst places to have an off day. Seattle, on the other hand, they'll be off tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
They will stay home and host the Twins this weekend. See where the Mariners just signed Carlos Quentin to a minor league contract. Looking for an extra bat.
Yeah.
Quentin's bounced around quite a bit the last couple of years. Cowgill swings at a pitch in the dirt. So a couple of groundouts and a strikeout, and just 8 pitches needed for Sonny Gray in the bottom of the 4th.
Chevron Extra Mile, when the Oakland A's pay homage to the history of the franchise. Each Throwback Thursday, 5,000 fans will receive a commemorative button highlighting an amazing A's player. For tickets and information, go to athletics.com/Thursday. Some great players in the great history of the Athletics. And a chance to get a button of one of them, and that would be a special time. Collect them all.
Top of the order for the Athletics. Folt, Canna, and Vogt. A's have had 6 hits off Weaver in the first 4 innings. But they've stranded 5 runners through the first 4. Folt, shot to right. At Calhoun, they've done a little bit of that too, Ray. They've hit some balls hard against Weaver. That went right into the glove of Calhoun. Career versus the A's here in this ballpark. Weaver's been great. Look at the ERA, 1.42. And very good numbers overall against the Athletics in his career. 13-9, 2.49 ERA. Remember asking a A's hitter last year, a veteran hitter who had faced Weaver a lot over the years. We watch him throw 85, 86 miles an hour. What makes him so tough? And he said the ball comes out of his hand different than any other pitcher. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, I can't explain it. It's just his release point it's different than most pitchers. He throws across his body a little bit.
A lot of arms and legs too, and hides the ball, comes back straight, and then right over the top.
But you see where that left leg, that front leg lands, and he really does come across his body when he throws, and he's kind of over the top.
And check right down, right there. That's across the body. You see the other one for Sonny Gray is a little bit farther to the left, more he's straight more towards home plate.
So it almost looks like what he's doing is he's like throwing to a spot behind a right-handed hitter, which where his leg lands.
Yeah.
But then he comes across. Line drive and a base hit to right field for Canna. So a 1-out single, and that'll bring up Vogt. Lowest career ERA versus the A's. Santana always seemed to be good. The late Pat Dobson, Louis Tiant, Jared Weaver, Fritz Peterson on that list, the old lefty. Felix Hernandez, and no surprise there either.
Just that shot right there, Jared Weaver. That tells it all. See the way his body is,
exactly
where the ball is behind him, and but over the years, it's a pretty good pitcher by the name of Frank Tanana, who one time pitched for the Angels and threw 100 miles an hour. Except to your brother when he got the base hit, that no-hitter when Eckersley pitched it. But
he lost about 15 miles per hour.
But he got hurt, and he made himself a great pitcher with the Detroit Tigers, and he couldn't break a pane of glass, but he was a tremendous pitcher for them. But that's basically saying, okay, I know I cannot throw hard anymore. And we were the same way. Over the years, the number, I mean, he's in his 9th season. You look at the number of pitches that he's thrown. Just pitch after pitch, and over the course of a season, a career, a lot of bullets.
The 2-1 the count to Vogt, who has singled and struck out.
Slow curveball. Stephen Vogt took this one as he did in his first at bat. He ended up singling in that first one.
Drives this one toward center, a little bit to left center, but Trout was shaded that way. So Trout has it, and Vogt is retired for the second out.
Mark Canha has speed. Ty Waller talking to him. I'm surprised he's not running this inning. Sonny Gray looking as he's pitching very well also. Maybe wondering what it's like to get runs for. He got it opening night. He got a lot of runs opening night. But it's not been the case since. See if Canha tries to do something with Billy Butler at the plate.
Butler, a RBI ground out in the first inning, and then a fly ball to right field in the third. Curve outside corner for a strike. Almost looks like Weaver's best pitch tonight from a control standpoint is that big curveball. He's able to get an early strike with it, and he's able to put hitters away with it as well. Runner goes. Butler takes. Throw to second is late. So it was another big curveball, and Butler took it. And Canha has a stolen base.
Picked the perfect time. The slow curveball, and Billy Butler takes it all the way. Canha, the good jump. Don't look back. Just go straight still. There are 2 outs, so if there's contact, you keep running. And that's a pretty good pitch to hit. No chance for Iannetta. But Butler at least now has a runner in scoring position, and that's what he likes.
So the A's starting to swipe some bags. Remember, they didn't do much the first week of the season as far as stolen bases go. Much better lately. 3 tonight.
That was a high fastball that Billy Butler hit foul down the right field line. 2 slow curveballs. I think Billy Butler said in Kansas City, and we have seen it throughout his career, he said that's why I've never been afraid to get to 2 strikes, because I feel I can do something. And for him to take the curveball, to know it's a strike, but knowing that Canha had a pretty good jump to get in scoring position, he decided to take it.
And we've talked a lot about that, Ray, where if you're a hitter, the runner is trying to help you out.
Right.
He's trying to give you a chance to get an RBI. And you see a lot of guys swing.
Yeah, I know. Especially.
It looked like Butler was taken all the way.
Exactly. And you know, he saw him take off and probably anticipating that he was going to be running in his at-bat. He did not up until 2 outs. Now he does.
Hits that one in the hole. Ibar scoops it, straightens up, throws across in time. Side retired. So Canha is stranded, and we're headed to the bottom of the 5th. Iannetta will lead it off. It's a 1-1 game. off. It's 1-1, bottom of the fifth. Chris Iannetta, Johnny Giovatella, and Cole Calhoun for the Angels. 63 pitches for Gray.
Look out, John.
Heads up. And that one right above us.
I'm helping you out, JR. Got to pay attention, man.
If you're wondering who JR is, he is not the third broadcaster in our booth. He's John Reynolds, our stage manager.
I'm not going to protect you. You have to pay attention.
John's a bit of a character. Likes to entertain people. What do you say, though? 4 days with John Reynolds? It's a lot. It's a lot. The real glue in the booth is right behind them, though. Brian, our stats man, who Vin Scully does allow him to come over here and do stats for us over here.
There he is.
But if Vinny needs something, even if Vinny's on the road, and Vinny's in San Francisco right now, you know who he calls, don't you? Yeah. Brian. Could be mid-game. Brian, what do you know about Bumgarner? I need something. He calls Brian.
Look at JR, always faking it. What do you think BI's doing in the Bay Area?
JR is reading that media guide backwards. Oh, we have a lot of fun when we come to Anaheim. It's a good group. Sogard's going to get back there, and he's got it. So Iannetta is retired. All right, it's going to be the final game of the series, final game of this long road trip tomorrow. And there's your pitching matchup. Jesse Chavez against the youngster Nick Tropiano, a right-hander. Our coverage starts at 3:30 with A's pregame live, and then the ball game at 4:05. And afterward, you get complete A's coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. So a mid-afternoon game tomorrow to wrap this thing up. Chavez and Nick Tropiano, who being called up. Reddick, foul territory, and Reddick makes a nice catch.
Not a lot of foul territory down the line, and Josh Reddick, though, playing Giovatella that way, even though he pulled a home run to left field. But padded wall, unlike Houston a couple of years ago when it was not padded, this one was, did not have to bang into it. Josh Reddick, a nice play for the second out.
So Tropiano, Ray, he's a right-hander.
Yep.
And remember when the Angels traded Hank Conger to the Astros in the offseason, Tropiano was one of the two players that the Angels got back. So he'll be pitching in place of C.J. Wilson, who's got a little elbow stiffness, so the Angels wanted to move him back. So Wilson looks like scheduled to pitch on Saturday, and it'll be Tropiano tomorrow.
Tropiano used to broadcast for the Red Sox, didn't he?
Jerry. Line drive right at Laurie, and that's the inning. So 8 in a row retired by Sonny Gray, and we're moving to the 6th. It's a 1-1 game.
Suite. This luxurious suite is located above the first base bank and includes an extensive high-end food and beverage package featuring, listen to this, chicken kebabs, capri sandwiches, sausages, sliders, salads, desserts, soda, water, beer, wine, and more. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/president. Presidente.
There was nothing on that list that did not sound good.
Oh. Caprice is good too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all good stuff. How about nachos?
Yeah, nachos would be good. And a quick 0-2 to Ike Davis. Davis, Reddick, and Laurie here in the top of the 6th. He's have 7 hits off Weaver, just the 1 run, and that was in the very first inning. Loop to center, Trout coming in, and Trout makes the running catch. You just don't see very many balls fall in front or go over the head of Mike Trout. He always gets a good jump, and he's got such great closing speed.
Well, as the old saying goes, he can outrun a mistake. Because if something does happen, if he happens to break back, he has tremendous speed to be able to come in. If you're an infielder, don't even worry about going out and trying to catch something. He has the speed to be able to get to it. Doesn't have to leave his feet, which is smart. And you stand next to him, he's a big boy.
Yes, he is.
He is. He's got some size to him, and he's still just 23.
23 years old.
Amazing.
And Reddick rips one into right center field for a hit. See if Reddick thinks about 2. Makes a big turn, but decides to stop. Calhoun has that good arm. So Reddick is 2 for 3.
Let's swing by Josh Reddick with the shift. Of course, he's able to get the ball over it. Stays back on the off-speed pitch. Seems like we say that a lot tonight with Weaver pitching, whether it's even his fastball, but when he elevates the fastball, it does at least seem to be a little bit quicker. You got the veteran, and then you got Sonny Gray, who's pitching like a big veteran.
So here's Laurie, a fly ball to center and a strikeout.
Strikeout, the biggest out of the game for Brett Laurie.
So Laurie in this series now is 1 for 9 with 4 strikeouts. Hits that one hard to Ibar. To second for 1, on to first. Double play. Boy, hit it right on the button. But it was right at Ibar, and it's a 6-4-3 double play, and that'll do it for the A's in the top of the 6th.
Minimal. Here's a ground ball. Nice base running by Sam Fuld to score on the slow hit ball by Billy Butler. That's the A's run. And a great job by Sam Fuld, who stole second. And then this is the run scored by the Angels. And that's it. And there's been very good pitching between Sonny Gray. Good curveballs with the bases loaded, getting Albert Pujols, and even bigger for Jared Weaver. Get a big strikeout with runners at first and third, nobody out. So that is the difference in the game. Good pitching, just one run for each. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Trout, Pujols, and Freese. Sonny Gray, 71 pitches now. And it's 2-0 to Trout. Diamondbacks are leading the Rangers 6-1 in the bottom of the 7th. There's Salas out in the bullpen.
Well, that's 6 solid innings for Jared Weaver. Not surprised. Pitch count's up a little bit, but I think Mike Scioscia figured if he could get 6 out of him and a pretty good bullpen, that he can mix and match. And we may see that in the 7th.
High, and now 3-0 Trout. The Rangers will fly here after their game tonight. Is that right? Are they staying at our hotel?
At the same hotel.
Trout
shot
on 3-0 took a big rip and he popped it up. And that's a huge out.
Well, as great as it is, it seems like it's hard because you come out of your shoes. You like to think just be your natural self. He knows he just missed it. And, you know, Mike Scioscia, as we've seen in this series, I don't know there's ever been a 3-0 count in this series that the hitter's not swung. So not surprised there.
So here's Pujols with 1 out. I think if you look where that pitch was, that would be the pitch, the kind of pitch you'd want to swing at on 3-0 is right there.
Down the middle. And typically a pitcher, even though he might think and know this part of the batting order is going to be swinging 3-0, still going to throw the same pitch.
Fastball high. So the Rangers finish that game and then fly here for a weekend series against these Angels. Good breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
Who knows? Maybe the Rangers will get in and go to the Magic Kingdom.
Maybe.
Off day tomorrow.
Maybe they'll come out to the ballpark.
They'll go to Magic Kingdom. I think they'll send an advanced scout.
Yeah. Liner to left. Canna's coming over, and he makes the catch.
Maybe Jeff Bannister, the manager, will come out and watch the game, and the staff. But say Albert Pujols, always scary watching him swing, and also Mike Trout. Trout just under a 3-0 fastball, and Albert Pujols into this 1-2 pitch, and a bullet. And he pulled it, but Canna, good jump on the ball and able to cut it off, knuckling on him a little bit.
So here's Freese. Ten in a row retired by Sonny Gray. And he pumps a fastball in there for a strike to Freese. The Rangers trying to figure out their rotation a little bit. See where they're calling up Wandy Rodriguez. Remember Wandy Rodriguez? He was a pretty good pitcher for a while in the National League. They're going to call him up, and he's going to pitch on Friday.
Wow. It's amazing what you, Darvish, missing the whole season, did to that entire rotation.
Everything up for them. Wow. And an 0-2 pitch, nasty stuff. Strikeout number 6 for Sonny Gray, and he has retired 11 in a row. We're on to the 7th. It's a 1-1 game.
Astros this weekend, and Saturday, that's what you're going to get, an emoji t-shirt. 25th, that's, of course, look at those guys on there. That's Sonny Gray, Coco, Sean Doolittle. Emoji t-shirt. Grant Thornton is the sponsor, and that is a great thing to come out and get. 20,000 fans, Athletics and Astros on Saturday, this coming Saturday, 1:05 start. See you at the Coliseum for that emoji t-shirt. We've been talking about it. Even JR wants one, so we'd like to make sure our buddy JR gets one. Emoji t-shirt. That's on Saturday against the Astros, who are playing very good baseball.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Here's Fernando Salas. Second time in this series we're seeing him. He threw 2 innings on Monday night, threw 20 pitches. And he takes over here in the 7th inning of a 1-1 game. So 93 pitches for Weaver.
Well, both clubs can look at the possibilities of what could have been. He's had a chance to score first and third, nobody out. Of course, the Angels bases loaded with Pujols up and only 1 out. Neither club could score, and at least from the Angels standpoint, they're in the bullpen. But from the A's standpoint, they're probably saying, great.
Yeah.
Get somebody who can throw a fastball. And I tell you, Weaver just proved tonight what he's capable of doing. And Mike Scioscia got 6 great innings out of him and turned it over to a pretty good bullpen.
0-1 to Sogard, who is 0 for 2. Ground out and a fielder's choice. Center field, and Trout will not get this one, and that's a leadoff single for Sogard. So we'll see if the A's can do something with this.
See, if Weaver's in that ball's hit harder.
That's right, right at Trout.
And Trout's able to get it. Eric Sogard right back up the middle, and you know, sometimes as a hitter you say, I want the pitcher to provide the power. Weaver didn't do it. Yeah. And Salas comes in throwing considerably harder than Jared Weaver. But you have to tip your hat to the veteran Jared Weaver, because he did exactly what he's capable of doing, knows his limitations, and did a great job.
The best outing of the year for Weaver. So now it's Simeon. Simeon with a long look down to Mike Gallego, who's going through a whole host of signs.
It's also a little bit different for the A's. They've stolen 3 bases, or stole 3 with Weaver on the mound. Salas, pretty good, quick move to the plate. His fastball gets to the plate a little bit quicker.
Sogard got a big jump, throw to second base. Nobody's there, and backing up is Ibar. And Iannetta, what looked like to be a really good throw. Except nobody was there.
And that's exactly what a catcher is supposed to do. It's the decision of the middle infielders who's going to be covering. Sogard looking back, neither one did, and maybe the possibility of a bunt. But look at the throw, right on the bag. And sadly, at times when that happens, the ball goes to center field and the runner goes to third. They give the air to the catcher, and they should say, we need to find out who should be covering, because that's on the second or the shortstop. A great break for the A's with nobody covering, and Simeon would try to get him over.
Bunting, and he bunts out in front. Iannetta picks it up. His only play will be at first, so nicely done by Simeon. And now the A's have the go-ahead run at third with 1 out.
It looked like the stolen base by Sogard, unless it was a busted hit and run. It was a straight steal all the way, and Simeon, what a great job he did in getting the bunt down, giving himself up to get Sogard to third base. Freeze trying to go back and think there's a play, but there's not, only one, and that's to first base.
So Sam Fuld steps in with a chance to give the A's the lead. Actually, they're going to walk him. So they're going to pitch to Canna. You think, Ray, this is a situation where maybe the Angels are looking for a strikeout and they feel like maybe they got a better chance to get that with Canna than Fuld?
Or they'll move the infield back and play for 2.
Double play.
Yeah. But Sam Fuld rarely strikes out, and plus we have seen him bunt with the runner at third. Kind of a safety squeeze, but bunting for a base hit or trying to bunt the ball to the right side. Seeing what the infield of the Angels does. Mike Scioscia, of course, will instruct them. If they play in, then it was simply trying to get the strikeout. Back to looking for 2. And
Cesar Ramos, a left-hander, starts to throw. We have not seen him in this series.
And the infield is moving back, Kipe, so it looks like this strategy for Mike Scioscia was to play for 2. Of course, the one thing that could negate that would be an attempted steal by Sam Fold, and if they're running on Salas as Sogard did with the straight steal, maybe they feel they can get a good jump off him.
First pitch to Canha is a strike. Canha with a strikeout, a fly ball to center, and a single. Sogard at third, Fold at first. Good pitch there, a fastball right on the outside corner, and now it's 0-2.
That's a good fastball, good location.
So Canha's going to have to battle. 0-2 pitch. Just missed.
His swing last at bat was a fastball away from Weaver and hit it hard to right field, and that's something. Yeah, we saw it in the spring. We've seen it in the regular season, getting a chance to play and using the right side of the field.
Defense pretty much straight away for Canha. Strike 3 called. So Canha cannot pull the trigger, and Salas gets a huge strikeout.
Yeah, Mike Scioscia going to his bullpen, going to his lefty. That's a perfectly thrown fastball, and nothing to complain about that. Canha might think about it, but that's a great pitch.
So Salas gets a big strikeout right there, and now Ramos is coming in when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune Up, your oil change, tune up, and smog experts. Ramos coming in to face Vogt.
Now pitching for your Angels, number 37.
Spalding has released this great collectible that is limited to 2015 basketballs, and it sells for $89.95. Call BigTimeBats.com now. All right. Warriors coming up tomorrow night, game 3 of their series in New Orleans. So Stephen Vogt is going to hit off the lefty Cesar Ramos.
This is the type of pitcher that Stephen Vogt should be able to handle. Remember the Joe Thatcher at bat at Houston that came in, and Stephen Vogt had a big 2-out RBI single to try to do it again against this lefty. Just not overpower any of his pitches. Fastball just about the 90-91 miles per hour, but has the 4 pitches, so he figures Stephen Vogt, who's swinging the bat well, stay hot and use the whole field. They're playing him straight up in the outfield. and on the infield.
Vogt 1 for 3. Well, he digs in against the lefty Ramos. First pitch is outside. Ramos came over in a trade in the offseason from the Tampa Bay Rays. Started his career with the Padres, couple years in San Diego, and then 4 years in Tampa Bay. Cesar Ramos.
That's Vinny Pisano in the bullpen. Thank you, JR. It's right-hander that you saw last night. Sogard started it with a base hit, stolen base, got him to third, trying to get him in.
Vogt takes a low strike. He didn't agree with it. So the count is 1-1.
Well, I'd say that's the lower part of the strike zone, if not completely out. Fold a threat to steal, so Netta talking about the whether he's going to throw through or not. Fake a throw. Freeze way off the line, off the bag at third.
Hit hard, base hit right field. Stephen Vogt comes through. Sogard scores. Full hustles around to third, and the strategy backfires on the Angels. Fold comes through, or make that Vogt comes through, and the A's grab a 2-1 lead.
Well, the fastball down and in, and Stephen Vogt just hammered it past Pujols, and there's a case where if Fold steals, then Pujols is off the bag. He might catch it. Instead, it gets past him. Sam Fold hustling to third, so another first and third, but Stephen Vogt, you know, you really can't. And we might see a little bit of a difference in the future with Stephen Vogt, who can handle lefties, and that's why he's in the lineup last night, guy. But I think we talked about that earlier, that he would be seeing some active action. He's got it tonight.
So new pitcher Pastano, the right-hander, coming in.
Of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Big hit, Stephen Vogt. Runners in scoring position this season, 8 for 13. How about that? Hitting in the third spot, that may be a good spot for him. At least for now, because he's hot.
Oh, he stay hot, and
2 more hits tonight.
Yeah, lefty, righty, doesn't matter. Pastano, drop down, sinker, slider. A's have already seen him in this series.
Not close. That should get another run home, and it will. Fold trots in. So it's 3-1. Pastano's first pitch nowhere near home plate, and Iannetta could not handle it.
And Kai, how important is it to go from first to third on a base hit? Sam Fuld, of course, the ball hit hard by Stephen Vogt. He got the third, and that's why this wild pitch, really wild, way outside, breaking sharply. No chance for Iannetta. So coming down the line, Sam Fuld, and he scores easily. So there's your intentional walk. And Fuld scores. That's a big insurance run, even though it's just the 7th inning.
Butler takes inside, so now it's 2-0. Pastano pitched last night. 1 inning, 17 pitches. And now it's 3-0 with Vogt, the runner, at second base. So a 2 spot for the A's here in the 7th to take the lead. Both those runs are charged to Salas. Butler taken all the way. It's in for a strike. 3-1. Butler hits one high and deep to center field. Trout back at the wall, and that baby is gone. Butler homers, and it's 5-1. The A's lead.
Wow, country breakfast, straightaway Central. All this with 2 outs, a big strikeout, and then Stephen Vogt, a wild pitch, and country breakfast, straightaway center. Trout tried to climb the fence, but no chance. That ball clearly out, and took a 3-0 fastball, got one better, 3-1, and crushed it. He's having fun, Cut.
So here's Davis, who takes a first pitch strike. So home run number 3 for Butler.
14th against the Angels. That's some good numbers.
So the Angels bullpen, which the first 2 games in this series were very, very good. They 9 innings in the first 2 games and allowed just 3 hits and 1 run, but they have given it up here in the 7th inning tonight. Davis is going to have himself a hit. He'll take it. And Ike Davis has 3 hits.
Fastball down the middle, and Billy Butler, who stays as close as anybody, and that proves it right there. When you go straight away center field and you have that kind of power, hit a home run last night, a solo home run. That's a 2-run shot, and straight away Mike Trout tries to jump up and get it. Even Superman couldn't do it. That's a big swing by Billy Butler. And all of a sudden, he's hitting the long ball, something he did not do last year. And the A's have gotten a healthy and a very good Billy Butler this year, and he is swinging the bat well.
So 4 hits in the inning and a walk. And the A's have scored 4 times.
How about this? I mean, he climbed the fence, and this shot, though, oh my.
So 0-2 now to Reddick.
You know, Trout, I mean, he has robbed. They even put statistics down how many times he robs hitters, and that, I mean, he had enough time with the trajectory of the ball to climb the fence. If he's over another 3 feet, he might have caught it. He is Superman.
Reddick lines one into the corner, fair ball. Ike Davis digging for third, and Gallego's going to hold him up as Reddick gets into second. Calhoun dug it out of that corner quickly, and Reddick has 3 hits. He's kind of teeing off here in the 7th inning.
Now 2-strike hitting, a slider coming right into the wheelhouse of Josh Reddick, and Mike Butcher's going to talk to Pastano. But what What a swing with the slider coming in. You'd like to see the two-seamer going away from a lefty. Instead, Josh Reddick gets the slider coming in to him and hits it perfectly. Second double for him. Remember, he just came back a week ago Sunday. Last night, as we remember, the challenge in the second inning. Unusual with 2 outs. Tonight, a simple stolen base when nobody covered second opened this inning. Sogard could have been out. Probably would have been out. Instead, he gets the stolen base, nobody covered. The sacrifice, and then everything else opens up. So the little things that happen in a game come back to haunt, and somebody up the middle didn't cover like they should have been covering, and that's a big break for the A's.
Here's Laurie who takes a strike. So everybody's got a hit for the A's. They have, 13 hits now, and everybody except Laurie has at least one. So Laurie needs to get in here, but he's behind in the count 0-2. Looks like Laurie, I mean, he's always very aggressive. Looks like he's even more in this series, almost jumping at the ball. He is flied out, struck out, and hit into a double play. Hits that one hard. Diving play, Freeze cannot pick it up. Run comes in to score, and it's 6-1.
And there's your hit. Great call.
He'll take it.
A base hit, a hanging breaking ball, and they try to go back to the breaking ball to the aggressive Laurie, but he's able to take advantage of it. Nice play by Freeze, but not enough time.
So a 5-run inning. He's still batting. It's the 10th man to hit in the inning, and it's Eric Sogard.
Sonny Gray is getting run support that he was hoping for, and A's keep going.
And Sogard tries to bunt. 5 consecutive hits for the Athletics after that big strikeout of Mark Canha.
Last time the A's were in double figures in hits was the first game of this road trip. It's been that long. But tonight they've come out, and especially in this half inning.
Missed outside, 1-1. That RBI for Laurie, his 4th of the year. There's a drive to right. Calhoun hustling in. He'll get there. Makes the catch. Inning over. Major damage done by the Athletics. They score 5 times. Billy Butler with a home run. Vogt with a big hit. And it's now 6-1 as we have reached the 7th inning stretch. the top of the 7th, so Sonny Gray now has a 6-1 lead. And he'll face Ibar, Joyce, and Cowgill. Sonny had 82 pitches, so he's got a little bit left. And he has retired 11 straight. There's not a lot of hits since the 3rd inning.
And also appreciates the run support. He had 8 in his first game, opening night at the Coliseum against the Rangers. Stephen Vogt, who had the big hit tonight with a couple of outs, had a 3-run home run in that game. Ben Zobrist, his first game as a member of the Athletics, a 2-run shot early.
Ibar tonight 0 for 2 with an RBI ground out. Good curveball, and now it's 1-2.
Sonny Gray has gotten better as this game has progressed. First couple of innings, of course, mentioned the number of batters he's retired consecutively. But all of a sudden, the curveball sharper.
Mike Davis scoops it, flips it, 1 out. And the A's have out-hit the Angels 14-2. So just 2 hits off Gray.
Kind of reversal from last night, where the Angels pounded out a bunch. The A's were limited in their offensive production. Walt Horn, extensive conversation with Bob Melvin about somebody. And usually when a trainer talks to the manager, it has to do with a player. Well, the assistant athletic trainer. Good news on Ben Zobrist. He got a cortisone shot a couple of days ago. And that is usually a 48-hour treatment, which that ended tonight. And he started baseball activity, swinging the bat. And while he could possibly play tomorrow, more than likely be Friday night back at the Coliseum.
0-1 to Matt Joyce, who's 0 for 2. Joyce struggling. He's 0 for 2 today. He's just 7 for 44 to start this season.
Well, Matt Joyce, like Ben Zobrist, enjoying playing outdoors. Ben Zobrist told us that earlier. Matt Joyce said it yesterday. He said it's so much better. He said just to be outdoors, and of course for him, actually for both, to be in California after being indoors at the Trop.
So 1-2 the count. Sonny Gray has always been very good against division opponents. 13-5. Look at the ERA, 2.14. Again, that's against AL West teams. All other opponents, 7-8, 3.84.
Yeah. 10-game winner last year, first half. Of course, A's could do no wrong in the first half of last season.
Joyce shaking his left hand a little bit. So he's taking his time a little bit.
It's a good curveball, and I don't know. Maybe it just did not look like a bad swing.
And then you got to check your swing. That probably doesn't help much.
It's like the cab driver told me one time in New York. He said, why guys wear batting gloves? Because the ball hitting off the end of the bat, it sends a sting into the hands. Maybe Matt Joyce just proved that.
Makes perfect sense.
This was a cabbie in New York several years ago.
This one's skied on the infield where Laurie comes in a couple steps. So 2 outs here in the 7th inning, and Sonny Gray is rolling along.
Now Stephen Vogt with a big hit to drive home the go-ahead run in the 5-run inning, but I think as he told us and has told us before, his main job is to catch and handle the pitching staff, and he gets disappointed, upset, as Fegley was last night and today about the outcome of last night's game. Stephen Vogt started at first last night, back behind the plate. And he loves it back there, especially handling a pitching staff.
13 in a row retired by Gray. Just outside to Cowgill, who's 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. Good curveball. Gray always has that good curveball in his back pocket. And then he paints the outside corner. So Cowgill now behind in the count 1-2. He really wasn't crazy about that call, but
I was just thinking,
good spot.
As this game progresses, the pitch that's close all of a sudden becomes a strike, and that's the consistency in which Sonny Gray throws his fastball and curveball.
And nice pitch again, and Sonny Gray gets his 7th strikeout. He's retired 14 in a row, and the A's lead 6-1 after 7. A's Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Prism. Now your team can collaborate at a whole new level with video walls from Prism. Learn how at Prism.com. 6-1, the A's lead. Trying to take game 3 of this series. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Mike Morin comes in. He pitched in game 1 of this series. Just an inning, 15 pitches, so got a rest last night, out there tonight. He'll face Simeon, Fold, and Canna. First pitch is low. Simeon 1 for 2 with a single and a sacrifice.
Sacrifice, a huge part of this game. After Eric Sogard sold second. Four stolen bases in that cap. That's pretty good for a ball club that is not known to run a lot.
And that one right back up the middle, and Simeon has his second hit. That's 15 hits now for the A's, so they get right back after it.
2-0 count, fastball right back up the middle, and what a great approach.
So now to the top of the order, and Sam Fold. Sam Fold is 1 for 3. He's been on base twice with a single, a walk. He has scored twice, stole a base, so he's done a little bit of everything from the leadoff spot. drops low. Twins beat the Royals tonight 3-0 in Kansas City. Pelfrey, 7 shutout innings for the Twins, so the Royals lose for just the 4th time.
You said David Price had a tough night tonight?
David Price had a tough night. Sam Fuld slaps one into left field for another hit.
I saw snow flurries in Detroit.
You were not seeing things. The Yankees beat the Tigers 13-4. David Price allowed 8 runs and 10 hits in 2 1/3 innings. How does that happen?
It usually does not. That's a good opposite field hit by Sam Fuld. But in the clubhouse, guys are watching the game. You guys say, "Is that snow?"
It was snowing in Detroit. Yes, it was. You know what? It was snowing in Pittsburgh as well.
Really?
Yep. So the Yankees big over the Tigers 13-4.
And here we are in beautiful California.
Yeah. Price in that game, Ray, he threw 51 pitches in the first inning.
Wow. That's really hard to believe because he's been
pitching great.
He's been almost perfect since he's been with the Tigers, especially this year. And I think this is a free agent year for him.
So the Tigers, both the Tigers and the Royals lose, so they're both 11-4. Swinging and a miss. White Sox shut out the Indians 6-0. Samardzija got his first win with the Sox. Big Jose Abreu hit his 5th home run already. Oh, 2 to Mark Canha. Lays off the breaking ball. Canha's 1 for 4 with a single. Couple of strikeouts. Fly ball to center.
It's amazing the amount of time he's got the chance to play. He started out and was hot, and Bob Melvin's kept him in the lineup.
Good take there. Now it's 2-2. Rays beat the Red Sox 7-5. Red Sox had a 5-1 lead in that game, but the Rays at home came back. Tied it in the 6th. Went ahead in the 7th and hung on. 7-5 is the final. And the Rays, that breaks their 4-game losing streak.
That other team in Florida, was it Pittsburgh, as you mentioned, the snow flurries, I guess, there too. It's amazing that Mike Redmond's status is in limbo. I mean, that is hard to believe. 2 weeks into the season, and so good to see Miami win today.
Canha almost got hit. Full count, 2 on, nobody out. Speaking of streaks, the Milwaukee Brewers lost for the 8th consecutive time, Ray. They're 2-13. Hey.
So maybe what happened last September wasn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, could it possibly have carried over? Three and 2. Canha rolls it foul. On the other spectrum, the New York Mets have won 10 in a row. Starting to get a little buzz around the Mets. They've won 10 in a row. They're now 12-3. Cologne's 3-0. Matt Harvey's pitching great. DeGrom, the Rookie of the Year, off to a good start. So maybe they got something in New York. The Mets. Another 3-2 pitch, and that one way inside, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Free Parking Tuesdays driven by Chevy are back for most Tuesday home games this season. All fans park for free at these games. 500 tickets in the Plaza Reserve section are available for each Chevy Free Parking Tuesday for only $5. Purchase online at athletics.com/Tuesday and use promo code Chevy while supplies last. You know that athletics.com, that's where you can go for pretty much anything.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Emoji t-shirt, 20,000 on Saturday. Steve Finelli, Josh, all the people in the ticket office, always ready to take your calls or go online. And it's a great way to get tickets. But A's will be back Friday night for a 3-game weekend series against the Astros off Monday, and then these Angels will be in town. And that look on Mike Scioscia's face says it all. He was upset on the challenge in the first inning, first batter. Sam Foles stole, and it was upheld, a safe call. And then probably the one thing that's really burning him is a great throw by his catcher and nobody covering it. So he's having a chance to add on in this inning.
So big RBI chance for Vogt. Infield comes in. Vogt is 2 for 4. 2 singles, RBI, and a walk. First pitch in, first strike. 8 of the last 9 A's hitters have reached base.
And that's with 2 outs.
So all with 2 outs, except for this inning, obviously. But all with 2 outs in that 7th inning. Vogt drives one to Trout. Trout comes in. Simeon tags. The throw to the plate is cut off. Sacrifice fly for Vogt. So another good at bat by an A's hitter. Vogt gets his second RBI, and it's 7-1.
Well, you notice how Stephen Vogt in his last at bat, when he brought home the go-ahead run with 2 outs. This time, though, he just stays straight away. Doesn't want to try to roll over because he knows the infield's in. So he says, get the ball in the outfield deep enough. Knows that Simeon has speed. He goes back to third. As soon as Trout catches it, relatively shallow, but still Simeon's speed and Trout's arm, not enough to get it.
Vogt now has 14 RBIs on the year, and here's Billy Butler. First pitch is a ball.
Pretty good changeup for Warren. He throws that first pitch a lot, and he did it to Vogt, and now same thing to Butler.
Butler a big night. He's 1 for 4, but he's got 3 RBIs. So he's got 11 RBIs on the year. There's a shot, base hit, right center field. Fold will score. Canna digging for third. He'll stop there. Butler with a long single. And Billy Butler has a 4 RBI night, and it's now 8-1. Well, he's got a good stroke going right now, Billy Butler.
Talk about a professional hitter. We talk about it. And this is a pro. Pitch away, he goes away. Hit a 2-run home run his last at bat on a pitch a little bit away, took it up the middle. This ball into right center, cut off by Calhoun, but Billy Butler, what a swing. He's got some bat speed through the zone, easily scoring Sam Fold.
So big night for Butler. He's still swinging it. Here's Davis. Nice play on the backhand at third. Out at second to first, and Pujols can't dig it out. Run comes in to score. So Ike Davis is going to get an RBI out of that.
Yes, he is. Not assume a double play.
And a fielder's choice and an RBI.
And plenty of time to turn a double play. David Freese did the right thing going around the horn, but Giovatello just tried to do it too quickly. And instead of being a double play out of the inning, the A's pick up another run. Billy Butler slid. I mean, there's plenty of time. I don't know that Giovatello had a good grip and threw the ball on the ground as a result, maybe, but that should have been a double play. Again, the A's are very happy with the break.
So a 3 spot here in the 8th. So 5 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th for the A's to break a 1-1 tie. Wasn't that long ago that this was a pitcher's duel. Laurie with a very nice play in the object circle. He just made a heck of a play. The crowd's, well, they're on him a little bit. Ibar grabs it, and the inning is over. But the A's do damage again. Sac fly, RBI by Butler, a 3 spot for the A's. It's now 9-1. This game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. It was a 1-1 game after 6 innings, but then the A's erupted. 5 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th. They now have 17 hits in the game and lead it 8-1. Sonny Gray was great. 7 innings, just 2 hits allowed, couple of walks. Jared Weaver pitched well, but he's going to get a no decision. So it was, at one time, a pitcher's duel. So Evan Scribner's going to pitch the 8th inning. Scribner's pitching extremely well. 1 walk and 8 strikeouts already in 8 2/3 innings. So his 6th appearance. And this is game number 16 for the A's.
Another pitch well the other night when Clipper came in and got the save of the ninth. But tell you what, that guy's pitched great tonight. Sonny Gray, 95 pitches. And the walks, although he had a couple, didn't hurt him. Maybe he just wanted to have the big challenge of facing Albert Pujols with the bases loaded after a couple of walks. 1 to Calhoun, 1 to Trout. 1 out, struck out Pujols, got a foul pop-up, and from that point, Sale retiring the last 14 he faced.
So Scribner facing Iannetta. Quick 0-2 count. Diamondbacks beat the Rangers tonight 8-5 in Arizona. So that's the end of just a 2-game series. So Chip Hale and his Diamondbacks get their 8th win of the year. Chip doing his thing. Good breaking ball, and Scribner strikes out Iannetta, who's 0 for 3.
I think Bob Melvin talked about Scribner, of course, getting the opportunity, having pitched late in games. He's been a closer in the minor leagues and pitched well the other night. And this is the pitch right there, the cut fastball. And as the skipper said, Kurt Young has said that with the addition of 1 pitch, the cut fastball to the arsenal of Evan Scribner has been tremendous. He's not just a fastball, curveball. He's got the cutter. Don Baylor said the other night, that's the pitch, and it's maybe one of the hardest to hit.
Well, this is by far the best we've seen Scribner pitch
Absolutely.
in his time with the Athletics. It's early yet, but
I just think that in the matter of, because Sean Doolittle is on the disabled list and Clipper now is the closer, it sets up the 8th inning reliever, and until Sean Doolittle comes back and Clipper goes back in that role, it's probably going to be whoever does the best job. And so far, at least lately, it's been Scribner. It's good to see.
so 0-2 to Giovitella, who has singled and hit a fly ball to right field. There's that curveball. Remember, tomorrow it's a 4:05 first pitch. So wrap up the road trip. Joe Smith getting loose. Strike 3 called, Giovitella. Not getting the bat off his shoulders, and that's back-to-back strikeouts for Scribner.
Amazing how sometimes you fool a hitter with just a fastball. And that's all it was. A good fastball at 93 by Scribner, and strikeout on a swing, and then a strikeout called 3rd strike.
So he's pitchers now with 9 strikeouts. And here's the top of the order, Cole Calhoun. Calhoun lines one softly into the glove of Laurie, side retired. Scribner, nice 3-up, 3-down inning. And 9th inning coming up. It's 9-1, the A's lead.
Sportsnet California is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Hey, don't forget to tune in tomorrow. The Warriors head to New Orleans for Game 3. Coverage begins with Warriors pregame live at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Fitz, JB, Roz, they're going to be there for you. And that's the group that's been with you the whole season, and what a year it's been for the Golden State Warriors. It's also available to stream live on csnbayarea.com and NBC Live Extra. That's tomorrow. The Warriors trying to go up 3-0. They'll try to do that in New Orleans. He's trying to get their 8th win of the year. They lead 9-1 as we reach the 9th inning. A couple of changes for the Angels. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Joe Smith comes in. First time we're seeing Smith in this series. Seemed like he pitched almost every game the A's and Angels played last year.
I think he did, Ken.
Featherston is in the game. A's had pretty good success against Joe Smith, and Joe Smith, pretty good reliever. Smith's numbers last year, his first year with the Angels, 7-2 with a 1.81 ERA. But just as we think about Smith and how he pitched against the A's, you would not have thought his ERA was that good. He signed a 3-year free agent contract going into last year. But a very good reliever. Laurie tonight is 1 for 4. He's got an RBI single. Swing and a miss. And Laurie is retired. So he has struck out a couple times tonight.
That's the riser.
Yeah, it's a funky pitch, isn't it?
Here the in-house announced that Arnold Leon is getting loose, and of course just joined the club today. It looks like Bob Melvin's going to try to get him an inning in this game. The A's up by 8 in the top of the 9th. There is Arnold Leon, who I'm sure very happy, as all pitchers are, all players are when they get the call to come to the big leagues.
R.J. Alvarez sent down, and Leon called up today. Alvarez 48 pitches in a very tough outing for him last night, and if you're the A's, you got to have a new arm.
That's right. And you think also that on Monday night, the job that Dan Otero did, 42 pitches in 4 innings, and 48 for Alvarez last night in just the one.
And Jesse Chavez coming out of the bullpen to start tomorrow, so a couple different factors going into Alvarez getting sent down. Oh, 1-2 to Sogard, and he hits a line drive and a base hit. Sogard's got his second hit, 18 hits now for the Athletics. 10 in the last 3 innings.
Another opposite field, and you look what the A's have done. Even last inning, it was a single up the middle by Semien, and then opposite field by Fold to left field. Billy Butler going to right center. So it looks like the A's hitters are staying on pitches, not jumping out to get them, and done a very good job, especially going opposite field.
2 hits for Marcus Semien. Also got a sacrifice. He's got a run scored. He's got a stolen base. Taps this one in the hole. Featherston has it out at second, on to first. Double play. So that's how the inning ends. Close play at first, and we're headed to the bottom of the 9th. The A's are leading 9-1.
A's 1-1 in the series. He comes in throwing excellent pitches, fastball, curveball, and really got better as the game progressed. Tried the last 14. That was a big one right there. Bases loaded. He got Albert Pujols striking him out with the bases loaded, 1 out, and then started dropping the hammer. Good curveballs as the game progressed. And Sonny Gray trying to pick up his second win of the season, and A's with 18 hits in support of him tonight. And Cap, you said it best. It was a pitcher's duel, first 6 innings. And then all of a sudden, the A's got to what is usually a pretty good bullpen of the Angels, but the A's took advantage of it tonight. Got some great hits, some big hits at the right opportunity, and probably none bigger than Stephen Vogt's with the lefty coming in to face him. And if Vogt makes out, still a tie game. But he came through, and all things are good. And for this young man, even better.
Major League debut for Arnold Leone. A couple of starts down in Nashville, AAA, and he's about to throw his first big league pitch. Arnold Leone. He's 26 years old, 6'1", 205 from Culiacan, Mexico. Been with the A's since 2008. And his first pitch is low. He faces Trout, Pujols, and Freese.
Well, and Stephen Vogt did what is supposed to be done. You make your first pitch to the big league, catcher throws out the baseball, not the pitcher. So
fastball, a little high, 2-0. The A's with 18 hits in this game. The Angels with 2. 18-2, the A's have out-hit the Angels. The 2 hits for the Angels, Freeze's double in the second, Giovatella's single in the third. 17 consecutive Angels hitters have been retired. And this one's skied toward fold and center. And he's got it, 1 away.
Yeah, I just made my Major League debut and just got Mike Trout unanimous MVP of 2014. Fell behind 2-0, but threw him a nice slider and then got it to pop up. And now, who's this guy? Albert.
I've seen his name a couple times.
Tell you what, I mean, talk about your debut. Being thrown in the fire, but that's good for the young man. Good to see.
First pitch to Pujols is hit up the middle. Simeon dives, he's got it, gets up, throws to first, and the throw just a bit high. Davis had a leap come off the bag to make the catch, and he just could not get his foot back down in time. So it's going to be a hit for Pujols, but heck of an effort by Simeon.
Well, you can see him going through the arm motion, the play up the middle, diving, had plenty of time. When he got up, kind of threw it sidearm, and he said, I should have gone over the top. And Leone, fastball elevated a little bit, but a great play by a shortstop. And I think if Marcus had it to do over again, although it's a base hit for Albert Pujols, but a sidearm and have a tendency to throw the ball up in where the first baseman had to jump, and that's the difference.
So hit number 3, and here's Freese. He's post-game live coming up. Kelly and Bipp standing by back in the studio. And unlike last night, where we really didn't give them much to talk about at all, much better tonight. He's with a 9-1 lead.
They might not even throw it to us tonight.
No.
Last night it was, let's say, 3 words and threw out to Angel Stadium.
Maybe we'll do a nice interview with one of the heroes, though, tonight. Freese down the right field line. Long run for Reddick, and it is fair up into the seats. So Freese with his second double.
Well, that's that opposite field stroke that we've been talking about. And David Freese just stayed inside the ball. It's almost like he never wants to pull it. And why? I showed you when you can do that and drive it the way he does to the opposite field.
So here's Taylor Featherston. He's hitting for Ibar. Came in the game last inning at shortstop. Featherston hitting for the first time tonight. Good breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Hey, Arnold Leone, he doesn't want to get an ERA yet.
No. Especially since
get bad for him.
Especially since Ike Davis doesn't have one. It's first baseman.
That sharp breaking ball again. This one way outside. So 2-1 with Matt Joyce in the on-deck circle. He's with 8 runs and 10 hits in the final 3 innings.
Good thing about that, the A's have been giving up runs late in this early part of the season, having a lead but not being able to hold it late. And tonight they've added on and trying to hold this lead in this 9th inning.
Good pitch, fastball 92, right on the inside corner. So 2-2 the count to Taylor Featherston.
Got a nice delivery and nice little giddy up on his fastball. Good slider, good curveball. See if they back it up with another heater inside.
Featherston will not chase the curve that time. Pujols at third, Freeze at second. Take by Featherston on a breaking ball, so the bases are loaded for Matt Joyce.
Well, the one thing that man does not want to do is have to get somebody else up in the bullpen, and they're starting to move around, and you just have to be prepared just in case. As we've known the Angels for many years that they will never quit.
So they are moving around a little bit out there.
Got the call on a Clipper. Thought maybe that he would be the one, but instead it's O'Flaherty.
First pitch to Joyce. Changeup right out of the chute. A changeup 82 miles an hour.
Yeah, Kevin, I think for Stephen Vogt behind the plate, knowing this is his major league debut, and so a first pitch changeup with Joyce more likely looking for the fastball. So Georgia last night throw a 3-2 slider with about a 10-run lead.
Laurie waits on the big chop. He'll throw to first in time. And the run comes in to score. That's Pujols.
That's a barehanded and a bullet to first base.
Showing off a little.
Yes, he is. Wow. Off the plate. He doesn't even bother using his glove. Watch this. And it's rare that you can make that kind of a throw when you have no chance to get a good grip on the baseball, but picked it up, and that's a chest-high bullet across the diamond.
Nice play. So a run in, that's the second out, and here's Cowgill. And Leone, first pitch strike. Cowgill is 0 for 3, and he is struck out a couple of times. And now he's behind in the count 0-2. A's will be home this weekend. Come on out to the Coliseum. It'll be the Astros in town. A's have been gone a long time in this first road trip.
Stephen Vogt this time. Right leg, but he knows he's going to take a beating behind the plate. He loves it, though.
Curve, and that'll do it. So Arnold Leone finishes up his first inning as a big leaguer with a strikeout. Angels do get a run, but No harm done as the Athletics win it tonight 9-2. 2 hours and 58 minutes in front of 30,034. And the A's take game 3 of this series by a final score of 9-2. One more to play. Tomorrow, 4:05 first pitch from the Big A here in Anaheim. Final score, Athletics 9, Angels 2. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Kelly Johnson and Pip Roberts starts right now.